Hello my beautiful friends and welcome back. I have missed you guys so freaking much. It has only been 2 weeks, but it has been 2 weeks too long. I have had a very shitty 2 weeks. A lot of shit going on in my personal life that I've just been trying to deal with, but I'm getting back on my feet now and I am back with a girl talk. We have not sat down and filmed a girl talk in 8 months. 8 months. What is that about, Jessica? Like, what the hell is that about? Gotta light my Yankee candle for our little sleepover vibes. Oh, we've got some really interesting dilemmas here. Okay, so I met this guy on a dating app and wasn't on the dating app to meet anyone. The dating app is also a streaming app and my friend uses it to stream, so I just used it to support her. So this guy and I really hit it off in our first conversation, and we've been talking every single day since September the 14th this year. And he's really great, only problem, he lives in Scotland and I live in the US. This guy is almost too perfect. Last year in December 2020, I wrote a list of all the qualities I wanted my husband to possess, and as crazy as it sounds, this guy literally ticks every single quality. I'm heading to Ireland in January 2022 for a solo trip, and since Scotland is nearby, I decided to book a trip for the weekend. Am I crazy? I don't know if I should just end it now because there is some serious distance between us, or if I should just go for it. Also, he's 33 and I'm 25, so I'm not sure if the age will ever become a problem. I thought this was so interesting. I don't know if you believe in manifestation, but I genuinely think you have manifested this guy into your life. Like, I've noticed that myself. Like, whenever you put thought to paper and you actually like put your goals and your wants to paper, I've found it's like a higher form of manifestation again than even kind of thinking about it in your head. I personally just think this is too much of a coincidence. Like, you've obviously kind of been thinking about this a lot in the past year or however long it's been, and then this guy just comes into your life when you were on a dating app, not for dating people. Like, come on. Like, you weren't even looking for it, he just came to you. So, if I was you, I would not let this go. Like, I just wouldn't just end it like that, because I genuinely think you will spend the rest of your life regretting and asking yourself, what if? What if, what if, what if? My kind of take on things is always better to go for it and wish you hadn't than not go for it and wish you had. Because at least if you've gone for it, you can say, well, I gave it my best shot, I gave it a try, you know, I gave it the most possible chance I could have physically given it, and even if in the end it doesn't work out, you kind of don't have any just regret in your head, because I just don't think there's anything worse than that feeling of regret and wishing you did something you didn't do. Like, there are a few things in my life that I really wish I did, and it's hard to accept something you didn't do. I think it's a lot easier to accept something you did do that didn't work out. Distance means nothing when somebody means everything, and I truly wholeheartedly believe that. You could go to Scotland, meet this guy, have the best weekend of your bloody life. You guys could be so compatible, and like, come this time next year, you guys could be living together. Like, you could move to Scotland, he could move to the US, or what a lot of people also do is kind of move in the middle so that they're an equal distance from home, and it makes it a bit more manageable and a bit fairer. This is so doable in my opinion. If it's meant to be, it will be, and you need to give it the opportunity to show you what it's meant to be. Moving on, so friends with someone who I like as more than a friend, and they don't know, and I'm terrified I slip up and tell him. I don't know if it's a good idea for two people with mental health issues to be in a relationship, but he's so kind and also gorgeous and my mind is melting. Okay, well, first of all, I don't know where you get the idea that you don't know if it's a good idea for two people with mental health issues to be in a relationship, because I genuinely think there's more benefits than cons, because two people who struggle mentally are going to have a much better understanding of each other versus having somebody who doesn't have mental health issues and never has struggled with mental health issues versus somebody who struggles a lot. I feel like that combination is much harder, because the person who has never struggled can't understand, which is very understandable, because you can only kind of imagine, but if you've never been in a situation yourself, you cannot grasp it to the level that it actually is. But if he also struggles, I feel like it's even better, because you guys have more of an understanding of each other. You'll be able to kind of help each other more, you'll be able to open up more, and yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea at all. And I also don't buy into the bullshit anymore of, you know, you have to be 100% mentally okay before you get into a relationship, or you cannot love someone else until you fully love yourself, and all these kind of sayings that are thrown out there. Like, when you break it down, it actually doesn't make sense, because two people in a committed relationship, like, if they are planning on spending their lives with each other, or they're in a monogamous relationship, like, both people are going to struggle mentally at different points in their lives. Like, when you're with someone in a committed relationship and you see being with each other for a long time, or you are with each other for a long time, just think of all the things you go through in life. Like, you know, you have to deal with family dying, you'll have to deal with losing jobs, financial situations, people getting sick. Like, all of these things cause people to struggle mentally. And then also, some people might only struggle with like situational depression, or they might only struggle mentally if a situation arises. But there is no doubt in my mind that that is going to happen, because that's how life is. Life is constantly throwing shit at you, and you need to be able to get through it. Like, you need to be a solid, like, work together as a team, and like, it's us against this problem. Humans were meant to connect, we're meant to lean on one another and help each other, and like, humans are all about being a community and having people to do things with, and we're not able to do things on our own. Like, we're just not. We all need people. That is just how it is. We all need people. So, to conclude, I don't think it's a bad idea at all. I would 100% go for it. Again, you don't want to regret this down the line. You don't want him to get into a relationship in a year's time and you thinking, why didn't I tell him? That could have been me. I'm bisexual, and my ideal situation would be to be with a boy and a girl at the same time. I'm poly. I know, not helping the stereotypes, sorry. I was in a relationship set up like this, but left for my ex-boyfriend, who assured me that he would be happy for me to see him and have a girlfriend. We are more than a year into our relationship after the split, and he has said that he isn't comfortable with me having a female partner. I love him, but I feel like he used the offering of a girlfriend, he knows I'm poly, to get me back, and I don't feel completely fulfilled, but I do have feelings for him. What should I do? Pretty complicated situation. So my thoughts on this are that he either thought he would be okay with it, or he knew what he was doing and he totally just manipulated you to get you into a relationship and told you what he knew you wanted to hear, and then, you know, got you under his wing and was like, actually, remember what I said? Yeah, I didn't really mean that. But you cannot really know which one it is. Like, it very easily could be the other side of it as well, where he fully thought he'd be okay and then like got deeper and deeper with you and was like, I cannot deal with sharing her. Like, it could be that case that he's just really monogamous. I think you are fully in your rights here, because you were so upfront with him at the beginning. You told him what it is your needs and your wants are. It's not like you hid anything from him. Your feelings are totally valid here, like totally valid. And what it comes down to at the end of the day is what you need. And like, you're saying here that you don't feel very fulfilled, so I feel like what this comes down to is you having to sit him down and have a serious conversation and just put it on the table. Like, look, I was upfront with you, I told you how it was, we're a year into the relationship now and you're saying you're not comfortable with it. Maybe ask him his reasons why he's not comfortable with it. Does he think he will ever be comfortable with it? And then I think you just need to make the call, because it doesn't seem like he's going to change his views. Like, if you are a year into the relationship and he's saying he's not comfortable, I can't see that really changing. Or else he could go along with it and then not be happy with it, and then that could create further problems down the line, which is not the setup that you intended that you were going into. Like, you know, he had promised you the moon and the stars, and then you got there and you're like, where are the moon and the stars? And I think we've all been in that situation before with somebody in different, you know, situations happening. Personally, I would say that if you're not completely fulfilled, even though you do have feelings for him, I think long term it will hurt you and him longer if you are denying yourself of what you really need and want in life. And I also feel like it's kind of going to be ripping a plaster off. Like, it's going to hurt and it's going to be sore, but once it's done, you will probably be really relieved and much happier and much more fulfilled, since that is something that's really important to you. Moving on. So I am talking to this person and we both have genuine feelings for one another. I'm very insecure with my body and I'm not sure when or if I'll be comfortable being naked around them. It's not that I don't trust them or believe them, it's that I get in my head and make myself anxious and worried. Is there anything I could do? Okay, yes, there is something you could do. Okay, so You might not like my answer though. From what you're saying is it's total anxieties that are getting in your head, okay? And that is what is preventing you from doing what you want to do. And this is something that I have had with a lot of other things in my life. So I suffer with anxiety so badly. And as you guys know, like, I'm in intensive therapy at the minute and have been all year. And every time my therapist says this to me, I hate it. But it works. Exposure therapy. With anxieties and worries, depending on what it is, a lot of the time there is very little we can do but expose ourselves to that exact thing. And with time, and the more we expose ourselves to said thing, the more we will realise that nothing is actually going to happen. The things we're worrying about aren't factual. They didn't happen, they're not happening, and it kind of makes you see as time goes on that a lot of these worries and anxieties are solely within ourselves, and they're things that are coming from our own head. You know, just say if I don't want to go for a walk through the town. Why don't you want to go for a walk through the town? Like, are you going to be physically harmed or hurt? No, I'm not. Okay, so then my worries are kind of coming to just things that my head is running away with me on. Do you get what I'm saying? So, with this, the only way that your anxieties and worries are going to ease is with exposure. But you don't need to go from, like, one end to throwing yourself into the deep end. Like, okay, let's just rip my clothes off, and you don't need to do that. What I would suggest in this situation, and I would do, is I think the best thing to do is, like, darkness. So start really small. You've got to start baby steps, and that's the thing with exposure. Little steps, and you work your way up. You could even explain the situation to them. And, you know, because that's also a huge side of it as well. Like, them not knowing what's going on with you will make your anxieties even worse. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you were open and honest and you guys were able to have a conversation about it, and it was known in the room, you'd instantly be that bit more comfortable, I feel, already. But I would say to just have lights off. So do it first time in complete darkness, because then you're kind of just slowly working your way up. You don't have to worry about them seeing you naked, because they're not going to see it. And you can slowly just focus on the intimacy and the pleasure and just being close with them and them touching you and stuff like that. So that's genuinely my best advice with that, because unfortunately, and I can tell you from first hand, it's the only thing that does work with a lot of things. And there's so many things in my therapy now that I am learning and I am having less anxieties with by doing exposure therapy. And it's so shit. And every time I bring something up to my therapist and she goes, we're going to just have to do some exposure here, I'm like, no, I don't want to. It's too hard. Like, I'm having heart palpitations, my hands are sweaty, my knees are weak, I fucking can't breathe, I feel like I'm gonna pass out. It's just horrible. But, like, you do feel so accomplished and fulfilled and proud of yourself when you do it. And then once you do it once, you feel a bit more capable and you feel like you're able for a little bit more the next time. Or even if you're not and you just need to do the same thing. What is your opinion on breaks in a relationship? Okay, so I feel very strongly on this, like, very strongly. And I really don't agree with breaks in a relationship. Like, I think once you go on a break, in my opinion, you're doomed. Like, I don't think they are necessary. I just think they are so unnecessary for such a variety of reasons. The way I am is, like, you're either together or you're not together. And if something has happened where you guys need space from each other, have space. Have your week or your 2 weeks of space if that's what is needed. You don't need to go on a break. You can still be together, but for whatever reason say, okay, we need this space for X, Y, and Z. We will come back and we'll talk in a week's time or 2 weeks' time, and, you know, we'll see where we're at then and where our heads are at. And then if by that point you just don't want to be together, then go ahead and break up. Or if you do want to be together, at least then you don't have to deal with the fact that a break has been put in between. And people like to use breaks as an excuse to go off with other people and to just behave in ways that they wouldn't behave otherwise, and they cling on to, we were on a break though. Like, I've seen it firsthand with friends in my life, and it always goes one way. Like, I've never heard of anyone having breaks in a relationship where it's actually benefited them in the long run, because you can have your break without putting a break on the relationship. Do you know, I just That is my opinion and it will never change. What do I do if I see red flags and green flags? Well, don't do what I have done in the past and don't try and turn those red flags into pretty green trees. Because the tree is just going to rot and it's just going to die and you're just going to be left watering a dead plant. So with red flags, like the way I kind of would look at a red flag is it's consistent, it's a pattern, it's something somebody's continuously doing. Like we can all do things that are considered red flags, all of us, but it's only a red flag, I think, if somebody is continuously doing it. Like just say he didn't reply to you one day. If that's the only time that's happened, like that's not a red flag, because something's probably happened in his life which is very justified as to why he didn't reply or whatever it is. You know, I'm just picking something silly there. But what I would do is address those red flags. Like don't just cling on to the green flags and be like, oh, but these are so great and he has so much potential. Like you cannot fall for someone's potential. You have to fall for what is right in front of you, because we all have bloody potential. Every single one of us has potential. Like we might reach that potential for another 30 goddamn years. So do you just want to stick around for them 30 years and wait for him to sort his red flags out or whatever it is? So yeah, I'd really address those red flags and kind of ask yourself if these are things that you can deal with, and I'd also maybe try and have a conversation about it and also see like how consistent and how much of a pattern or how often it is actually happening. But yeah, maybe just put the green flags to the side because we can cling on to them way too much and there might only be a couple of them. Like, you know, you need a lot of green flags for something to work long term. I love these girl talks so much, I cannot express it to you. I'm anxious and an overthinker. My boyfriend doesn't care what people think about him. Good combo. Incredible combo, if you ask me. Like, I think you have hit the jackpot because you guys balance each other out. Because people who don't care what others think can also like not care enough. Like there are definitely times where you need to care, and then on the other hand, like people who are just like, I'm the same, like you're just so anxious and you're overthinking everything. Like, you know, we need people to kind of bring us down a bit and go, honey, nobody cares. Like, nobody really cares. So I feel like it's incredible. I feel like that is the best combo. Okay, we have another long one here. So me and this guy have been on and off sleeping together for the past 2 years. He knows I have feelings, he doesn't say much about it and gives me mixed messages. For example, he has said, don't think I don't like you because I don't say anything, because I do. You know I like you. But when I asked him where is this going, he says he's not after a serious relationship. We always seem to come back together and start things up again. The breaks don't last long. Not sure what to do anymore because I have strong feelings and can't imagine him not in my life, but feel like I'm a hidden secret or something. We don't always have sex when we hang out. Sometimes we just talk and offload to each other. Really needing someone else's insight to what I should do. P.S. I think you're so amazing. Thank you. Okay, so you poor thing. This is awful. This is a really tricky situation. Okay, so I personally think that he is possibly leading you on. 2 years is a very long time. We're all entitled to, you know, have our time, but like 2 years. And the fact that he's saying he's not after a serious relationship, like, it's been 2 years, like, are you still not after a serious relationship, or are you just not after a serious relationship with me? Because that is a part that a lot of people miss out when they say, I'm not looking for a relationship, but is it just with me that you're not looking for a relationship? Right, if I were you, what I would honestly do, so you say that you have really strong feelings for him, but you feel like you're a hidden secret. So what I'm picking up is that you actually really want to be with him, but you're not happy with the way things are and you don't want to continue with the way things are. That's what I'm kind of picking up, and that you're really frustrated, because I would be so frustrated in this situation. I would sit him down and very strongly, like, I'd be assertive. Like, I would be assertive with it. I think it's great that you aren't always having sex when you meet up, but because you have been sleeping together for so long, I wouldn't really kind of just go off that as anything. I think you just need to have a conversation with him. Like, I would sit him down and I'd be like, look, just say his name's John. We've been sleeping together for 2 years. I know you said you don't want a serious relationship. As I have explained, I have a lot of feelings for you, and I am after a serious relationship, and I would love for that to be with you, but I need to know where I stand with you now, because I don't want to waste any more of my time. And if you don't want a relationship with me, that is absolutely okay, but I want to go and put my time elsewhere, where it's more valued and appreciated, and where I could possibly find somebody who deserves me, because this boy does not deserve you with how he's treating you. I'm sorry, I'm gonna put it out there. You deserve so much better than this. It's just like he's just getting his cake, having his cake and eating it. This is the best of both worlds to him, and like when you guys have breaks, he's probably going off getting with other girls, and then he's coming back to you when he wants it. Like, don't let him have that. Like, he doesn't deserve that. Like, you're so much better than that. So as hard as it is, like, even just say if he does turn around and say he doesn't want a serious relationship, it's gonna hurt so bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna really hurt, and your heart is gonna be broken more than likely if you have a lot of feelings for him. But isn't that so much better dealing with that now than going through this for another 2 or 3 years, and then you have 5 years to deal with, and you've like wasted 5 years on this boy, and you know, you've not pursued anything else because of him in the hopes of something happening. Like, I think he's given you a lot here by what he's not doing. So yeah, I would personally sit down and have a conversation with him, but just know that either way you're going to be absolutely okay. Like, you have everything you need inside yourself. You don't need him. You want him, yes. It'd be nice to have him, but you don't need him, and you need to keep that in the back of your head. Like, the only person you need is yourself, and you can give yourself everything, and there is somebody out there who's gonna bloody value you and give you everything you need and so much more. I'm 20 and still a virgin and never had a real relationship, and I just feel like something is wrong with me, and that at some point nobody wants to date me because I have zero experience. I just feel like everybody has this crazy sex/relationship story except me. I'm just really scared of being lonely and not able to ever get close to somebody. Any advice? Love you, and love that you talk so openly about these things. Thank you so much. Just want to say that I bloody love you guys so much. Like, I don't say it enough. Like, I used to say it most videos, and I feel like it just got really annoying, but like, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate every single one of you. Like, I feel so lucky for this space on the internet, and for all of you guys who support me. Like, you are so fucking genuine and so lovely and caring, and I'm just so appreciative of you, and just thank you for all the love and support you guys always show me. Like, it doesn't go unnoticed. But anyways, back to the question. Yeah, so okay, so there's two sides of this. Like, I understand what you're saying, and I totally understand how you're feeling, but flip the table, because this is something that I used to be really bad at doing, is like looking at the other side of a situation, because we can hone into our own issue so much that we're actually not seeing the bigger picture. So first of all, you're so young. Like, you're only 20. Like, you have so much time. But second of all, so you say it seems like everyone has this crazy sex relationship story. Yeah, people have baggage. People have a lot of baggage. The more relationships, the more people you've been with, you have baggage. So yeah, it's a crazy story to listen to, but it's not a nice experience to live through. And I've got a lot of baggage for a 23-year-old. Like, jeez, do you know? And so that's the other side of it. Like, you're saying you don't know if anyone would want to date you because you have zero experience, but you've got zero baggage, my darling. You are like a clean slate. Like, do you know what I mean? Because also, when you've been in bad, toxic, shitty relationships, you are bringing them issues into your next relationship, and there is no kind of, you know, getting away from that either. Like, trust issues and stuff, they do carry on, and once you've been traumatized or you've been scared for something, it does affect you in ways, and other people are then going to have to like deal with that too. And you guys work together and stuff. So I feel like also maybe looking at it from the other side, that like, yeah, you don't have these crazy stories, but isn't that also like a huge blessing and such an amazing thing that like you're 20 and you don't have any of these really shitty experiences, and that you can now be at an age, because for me, you know, by the time I was your age, I went through some of the worst experiences, you know, to this day that have scarred me, and they will never not have left that mark on me because they were so bad. My camera cut out, but what I was saying was that when you're younger, I feel like, you know, you can find yourselves in situations that you wouldn't find yourself in your early 20s or something, because you kind of have lived more of a life, you've matured more, you're in a different headspace. Like, my headspace now at 23 versus like 18, 19 are miles, they're worlds apart. It totally feels like a different person. There are gonna be so many people who want to date you, who want to be with you. There's also going to be boys out there who are in the same situation, or girls, or whoever your preference is. People, there are people out there who are in the exact same boat as you and are probably thinking the same thing, and you might come together with one of them people and it will be incredible. Do you know what I mean? So I would just say, use this time for yourself and do the things you enjoy and get to know yourself and love yourself and take yourself on dates and do everything that you want someone else to do for you, because I fucking promise you, you're so young, you are going to have all this. This is all ahead of you. And it's a good and a bad thing, because some of it is horrible, but some of it is incredible. So yeah, I honestly wouldn't worry. I think you are getting yourself into a much bigger state than is needed. You're amazing. It's all gonna work out. I still have a bunch more questions, but I don't want to make this video way too long, so I might actually film, oh, I've got a hair, another girl talk in like the next 2 weeks or something. So if you have any more dilemmas, do send them in to me over on Instagram. But I love this so much. We cannot let it go that long again. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I cannot wait to see you all in my next video.